Welcome to another episode of the Welcome Disruption podcast. Today we're hosting Terri Sullivan, founder of Waypoint, and we're going to discuss how we can transform the future of senior living together. Stay tuned for Marketing and Sales Mastery. Opportunity to showcase how what you're doing enhances what everyone else is doing, right? So any organization can build a website. Any organization can, do that, can build a brochure. Yeah. But no one else has brought in the technology that allows us to deliver in the way that you have.
Experience in a sense, right?
Yes, it is so user-centric.
Yeah.
And that human first philosophy is such a big part of what we do that I wanted to really hit hard on that. Yeah. And then do you have anything that you want to share, announce, whatever?
Well, we have a self-serve navigator coming out in Q1, which is a super low price point, like $19.99 or $49.99 based on what you want to do. So what we're thinking of is that this whole industry, especially with the pandemic and recovering from that and shrinking margins and the cost of hiring people and employment, is that there's a lot of them out there that can't afford an entry point that makes sense for them. It could be a home care franchise. It could be a hospice center, right? So we're doing a full software as a service, put in your credit card, build your own navigator with links. We don't get in the way of your workflow. There's no digital forms. It's really focused on letting somebody give that experience on that homepage and help their people get to where they want to go in the content, but for like $19.99 a month. So we're literally
is incredible.
Yeah. And then we're doing ChatGPT built into it eventually, as you and I know, right? And voice. So we're trying to figure it, but I don't want to announce that yet. I think that it's okay to announce the self-serve navigator that allows, I think, people in the industry or even single individual communities or franchise owners or these folks out there that just don't have deep operational and marketing and sales budgets that they can enter in. And then it also allows us to go into other verticals, but we won't focus on that because I think our focus is really more broad-based on the senior living. But at the end of the day, that's only one thing. And the only thing else that I think about is, as an entrepreneur, what we've learned over the past 5 years and what's driven us in certain directions. And there have been some key triggers, like the simple thing. This is so simple, but it was so profound. That real estate on that website is so valuable. That above the fold, right? The value of that. Why would you ever only give a person one way to interact with you? And for us, that was such a profound moment that we were like, oh my gosh, the navigator isn't something that we're selling against Rubrik or Further or anyone else. It is a hub that contains any best of breed technology you want in the space. And I think that for us was really one of our biggest ahas to allow us to start speaking about the product differently. Absolutely. And then being able to say to customers, build the customer experience you want based on the success that you've seen. And I think that really was big for us. It was very profound. So I think that's one thing that I might like to talk about if you're okay with that.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. And I would point out that in this case, this client did have the brochure on their website.
Yeah.
But the navigator allowed us to resurface that, to deliver that to the consumer. Yeah. And I think I heard a quote the other day that I absolutely loved, and it said, "Show me your incentives and I'll tell you your outcomes." So to your point about why give them only one point of contact, I understand incentivizing single file funnels. As a marketer, it makes attribution easy. But at the end of the day,
it makes workflow easy. It makes all of that. But
you can still at the end of the day, the user behavior does not align. The user behavior is very much now self-serve.
Give me what I need. Yeah.
On demand. Yeah. I will not wait.
Yeah.
And I think the other component that you bring together too is kind of in delivering that experience, that sales experience digitally, or at least that research component of it. It's a great opportunity for the community to brand themselves consistently. You guys have gone out of your way to make sure that there's places where text can be added that really reinforces that brand flavor and that brand personality.
Images, videos, snippets, like whatever you want to do to make it feel like your company versus your, whatever tools you're using looking the same at every single community. Right?
Yes. Yeah, and he used the example of the pre-built script that a lot of the CRMs come with.
Yeah.
I love that they're enabling to that degree. Thank you. Except,
yeah.
and I'm a consumer and I'm market researching 5 communities in a market, and 3 of them have the exact same script.
Yeah.
I'm now very confused and I've lost a lot of trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
So infusing that brand personality wherever you possibly can and being consistent about who you are and what you're doing is huge.
Do you know Kelly? I don't want to railroad us, but Kelly Singleton. Do you know her really well from Sunrise?
Not very well, but I've followed her on social media.
I would love to get on a call with her, not to sell her. I think she might have her own consulting firm now. She may have left Sunrise. I would love to figure out how to get you, me, and her on a call, because she did an outbreak session at Smash that was completely focused on delivering the brand experience throughout sales and marketing. And it was so dead on. You know, if you're going to promise and have a brand promise, then you better deliver on that person's experience. And she was headstrong on it. And she has a consulting firm. So I'm thinking that maybe
I would love that.
That might be a good circle up. So I'll reach out to her, and you feel free to reach out to her too.
Absolutely. I would love that. And I'll definitely do an invite.
Kelly Singleton Myers is her full name.
Got it. And, you know, that's kind of high level what I would love to do with a group of women in Nashville the weekend before Leading Age.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Right? Like, give me 2 days and some cocktails.
Yeah.
And let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think we could put some brilliant people in a room.
Yeah.
And come up with some real solutions.
Yeah.
So for today, I'll do the intro, and then I like a 3-pointer. They're my faves. And it also helps people kind of know where we're going. So we're going to talk about current challenges, how you're addressing them, how we're addressing them, where we need to be, right? Where we're, you know, the things that we need to overcome and the places we need to be going. And then ultimately innovative ways we're going to get there.
Sounds good.
Right? Does that work for you?
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's better if it's a conversation than it goes. And if it goes off the rails, we can always re-record.
Right. I know. I'm like, if I run it, we'll edit it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. All right, cool. So we will just get started with 3, 2, 1. This part's always so weird, right?
Yeah.
All right. So good morning. And thank you so much, Terri, for joining me. I am thrilled to have you for today. This version of Welcome Disruption is guest spotted with Terri Sullivan. She's the leader at Waypoint, and she has a history in our industry of responding swiftly and effectively to market needs. Her ability to track on consumer trends and behavior has led her to position several initiatives successfully in our industry. And I'm so glad that we have some time together today to talk about what we do best, which is human behavior.
Yeah, I'm super pumped to be here. Thanks for having me. It's
Absolutely.
exciting.
So do you want to just take a minute and tell us, you know, kind of how you got into this industry and what you love best about it?
Yeah. So back in, I think, 2007, my uncle started a company in this industry called Connected Living. And he approached me to help with sales. And he said to me, Terri, no matter what, you're going to learn a ton about this industry, and it'll set your future up success. No matter what happens with the startup. It was also my first startup, which was super exciting. And he did give me a one-liner. He said, you will always be young in this industry.
I love that.
So anyway, so I started working with Connected Living for a few years, and it's really how I got steeped in this industry. And then over time, I worked with a couple of other technology providers delivering family engagement, resident engagement, and assisted living EHR, right? So I started to get to know the industry in general and a lot of the folks that were in the industry. And one of the holes that I saw that I thought was really critical is that this is such a unique sales. I mean, I've been a sales professional my entire career, and the sale is so unique. It's almost like a B2B sale. And I always say it's a committee sale. It's a large purchase price. There's a lot of emotion around it, right? Mm-hmm. Even when a corporate department leader is making a decision on a platform, it has ramifications for their decision on whether they make a good decision or not. So it's so similar. It's so not B2C. It's so B2B that it fascinated me. And I thought the whole is personalizing the experience for people looking for senior living, because it is so expensive. Expensive is relative. I don't mean it that way. It's a larger ticket item. Mm-hmm. It's an emotional, it's a physical move. It's a decision, right? It's a big decision. Mm-hmm. So how can we use technology and data and experiences to provide a much better overall experience for a consumer. And that's how we launched the company. We initially launched with the lifestyle quiz and then moved into the navigator, but that really has been our focus, is creating experiences for consumers on senior living websites and helping them get to where they want to go quickly, converting them into the sales funnel, and then taking the data that we capture and informing sales how to use it to have a better experience for the consumer. So, and that's where we live.
Yes.
That's where we live.
You live consumer behavior and user experience. And I think user experience has not gotten the cred in senior living that it really needs to. Because it often is a need-based product, a lot of times we think they're gonna take whatever action we give them. Yeah. And I love that Waypoint offers a variety of interaction points based on where the person is in their buying journey. We do a lot of work with our clients mapping that buying journey, understanding the connection between marketing. Yes, my goal is that when they wake up in the morning, they have a cup of coffee, they see an ad on TV, they get their mail and they've got a direct mail from us. They open their Facebook, they see us in their feed, and that night they check their email and there's an email from us. That's omni-channel experience. Yeah. I think in our industry, we struggle with attribution, first touch, last touch, which touch. My goal is all the touches. How can we ensure that every single prospect has what they need when they need it, and that we are the last man standing when it comes to who has gotten in front of them as a brand? Yeah. And I absolutely love that with one of the clients that we share that has Waypoint on their website, they've had their brochure on their website for a long time, but it was Waypoint that resurfaced it. Yeah. And made it available. And download brochure is actually their number 2 call to action. And we've seen phenomenal re-engagement with people who were in the database and perhaps didn't get a brochure or can't find it, re-engaging with us.
Yeah. I think that you hit something key there, and you're using the terms second, right? It's the data. The data shows what people are engaging with. We just finished our end of year. We're not quite at the end of the year, but we did it through November 30th data capture report for one of our multi-site senior living providers. They have 23 locations and expanding. And we looked at their data. And when we looked at who was filling in the lifestyle quiz and looking at that data point, 80% of the people who filled in the lifestyle quiz were the older adult looking for themselves. Pay attention, right? Pay attention, because at the end of the day, whether they're looking for independent living, assisted living, or memory care, they are the ones on there, whether it be a spouse or looking for themselves. It was enlightening. It's enlightening, right? So you really know who those people are. And then if you're not delivering messaging directly to them or giving them ways that generation is comfortable in converting in, right? You can throw them down some fancy tech if you want to, but this audience just needs to get what they need and get in and help educate them, right?
Yes, so, clearly, easily. Yeah. Anything that feels like a runaround to them is a trap. You break down trust. The higher level of transparency, the better. The faster the response, the better. I don't necessarily believe that it's speed to lead, because I've seen situations where counselors are so anxious to pick up that phone, they didn't read anything that came in about that person. And keeping in mind that any of these decision-making tools that we implement are designed to enable the salesperson to do a better job of connecting and building rapport. If a person has to repeat what they've said, you're breaking down trust. So that's a sales component, but also from a marketing component, I feel like there's a ton of value in reinforcing that message. As you said, it's a multi-decision maker sale. So, I have a CCRC client who said 85% of their first touches are children, but that's just the first touch. That's not the decision maker, right? So understanding consumer behavior and who's doing the lift and why and what they need, and being as personalized as possible. I think that it's what I love about the forms that you've built in is that people are able to, once we have their information, we're not going to say your mom. We're going to say their name. Right? The power of a name. It actually lights up all the best parts of the neuroscience in your brain when you hear your own name. So like you said, personalization is everything, and today's consumer expects it.
100%. 100%. We did some more data pulling too, is, when you look at 1,000, it was like 1,070 people, when you look at that kind of group and then their next steps are they want a brochure.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a brochure right up front and center, 100% right there, ready for them to get, and then be able to capture them at the same time. I mean, really, to me, I'm really high on the data, because the data is who your consumers are. And you should be able to look at a dashboard and say, here are the CTAs people are engaging with and converting it with. And then you should also be able to see how your form completion rates are. I mean, we see with some customers form completion rates as far as 79%. Our average across all our customers is 28%. But
yes, our shared client is actually at 38. So I was, yes, to report that to the client.
That's fantastic.
You make a great point about having that brochure there. And from a data analytics perspective, for each of our clients, we build a data-driven predictive profile for their audience. Who are the people that we're interacting with based on their current residents and their current influencers? What is their socioeconomic status? What does their psychographic profile look like? What is the demographics? While that information is powerful for driving media buys and pay-per-click targeting, it also informs the voice of your collateral piece. I think that there's taking into consideration what is resonant to the reader. There's a great book by William Lutz called Words That Work. And in it, he said, it's not what you say, it's what people hear. So for us, when we do a data analytics profile and we find that we have a huge percentage of veterans, I had a client in Virginia that was around a base, and we found that messaging like do the right thing, honor an obligation. Whereas when I'm talking to a very busy Boston adult child who is working downtown and is commuting for 2 hours a day, that's a very different sale. That's a very different tone. We're here to make your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also on the sales side. It's a very different potential sale in meeting potential objections or their needs or what's important to them, right? Yeah. So carry that on through the sales process, and that sale needs to be different.
Absolutely. The discovery process of the sale that you guys tee up so beautifully is really that kickoff of, okay, we know that they're, and knowing what they're concerned about is ideal. Yeah. Tell me where it hurts, and I'll tell you where the sale is.
Yeah.
It's always behind the objection.
Yeah.
So I think that the way forward for senior living in general is to leverage the technology, effectively capture and manage their data, find a single source of truth, let it be the CRM. Yeah. I love that you are so well tied into the CRM and we're able to track all of that for each prospect coming in through Waypoint.
Yeah.
So, but data-driven technology solutions, but it has to have that human component. It's not enough to put a widget there, right?
For sure. I mean, you and I talked about this a little earlier about that homepage being so valuable. I mean, it's real estate. It's valuable real estate. Mm-hmm. So that's the page they're going to hit, unless you're doing landing pages. I mean, we can put our Waypoint Navigator on landing pages too, which our customers are seeing success with. But at the end of the day, that ability to capture their attention, a lot of people know what their intent is when they come to your website. Mm-hmm. So give them it. Don't hide it. Don't put it behind a whole bunch of questions. And if they want to engage with the lifestyle quiz, and they're in that middle of the funnel and they're trying to figure out, great, but put the rest of it right up there. We know what they're looking for, so give it to them, right? Yes. And don't limit your homepage to one tool or one CTA. And not everybody's ready to be driven down a tour. I know ideally that's what we
I firmly believe that. So just a fun story. When I do sales training with teams, my core value is relationship.
Yeah.
And I say that because I talk to salespeople about the process as though they were dating. So for example, if you just met someone and it's your first interaction and they ask you to come home with them, that's a little off-putting, isn't it? It's a little forward.
That's a great analogy. I didn't ever think of that analogy. I'm going to use that one.
You're welcome to it. I've been in many sales trainings where they're like, you need a tour on the first call. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
If anything, I found a lot of success with an offer to drop something off as the first step. I'll come to you
Yeah.
And, Sherpa data is always reported, I think it's almost a 40% lift with one home visit on conversion.
Okay. That's a big number.
Yes, massive. I think it's 36%. I did a sales training for a large regional provider out in the Pacific Northwest last summer. And this one particular sales counselor, as I was looking at everyone's data, just was killing it, but not all of her metrics, just her conversion metric. And I couldn't figure that out. So I dug a little bit deeper. She home visits every single prospect.
Wow.
Everyone, 100% home visit rate.
Wow.
Meaning that all of her other numbers were not particularly in line with some of their best performers, except her conversion rate was just gangbusters.
So it didn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you make the connection. The other side of that too, going back to discovery, is when you're dating someone and you want to get them to like you, you should go out of your way to listen, to find out what they're interested in and deliver on that.
Yeah.
Whether that's a meme. I'm a firm believer in a good meme, right? For solidifying a relationship, business to business.
Yeah.
But with a consumer, if they mention that they watch birds and you don't stop by with a bag of bird seed, you've missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
People, Maya Angelou, they forget what you said, they forget what you did, they never forget how you made them feel. And that's the salesperson's job in my mind. And the website is the first conduit to that. I always say your website's your best looking salesperson.
Yeah.
They're always on,
Yeah.
But how can you leverage that information forward? How can you advance the sale using what you learned up front?
Yeah. Very cool.
Are there any really successful, kind of sales tips or ways to leverage the information coming in from Waypoint that you've seen that has been out of the box or interesting? People taking the time to really dig deep.
I think from the sales side, the sales perspective, we get less feedback from the sales people on our data. We can see the data, right? We do training for the salespeople on how to use the data, but I have seen interesting ways that companies are using this way to capture data, right? So they might put it in the email signature of the salesperson saying, let's see if our community is right for you. Take our lifestyle quiz, right? Boom. It's in the email. More, it could be re-engagement. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new lead, but it's this way of capturing and bringing people in. I've seen companies put it behind a Facebook form in the welcome message saying, oh, thank you so much for your interest in our community. Take our lifestyle quiz, and then we can learn more about you and help you make a better decision, right? So I think there's been some unique landing pages, right? It's like there can be a marketing link, it can be embedded, or it can be in our navigator. It's like, how do you think about utilizing these tools, best of breed tools? It doesn't matter what tool it is, how do you use those tools in other ways to help support the sales team so they have more data? We get a lot of feedback from the salespeople saying they love having the data. It just makes that first conversation much easier. But really, to your pointed question, we don't get enough anecdotal from them to say, wow, this really made a difference for me. I would love to have more of that, but maybe it's on our side, we should survey our salespeople more.
I love a survey.
Yeah.
We just did a social media post. I love a survey.
Now I'm on a new track. I'll be going to my team to say I have an idea. They're going to go,
hey guys, I have an idea.
Another one.
I get that in our organization a lot as well.
Yeah.
Adrienne's got a new idea.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a ton of opportunity for us to re-engage with the sales teams and say, how are you using it? Personally, for our clients, we do have the Waypoint Navigator on their pay-per-click landing pages.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, I've come across a lot of communities who are spending thousands of dollars on pay-per-click, just dropping them into the website.
Yeah.
Without a navigator.
It's more clicks. It's more clicks.
Unfortunately, that's not very useful. So what we do is we actually, as I said, the Waypoint Navigator is on our pay-per-click landing pages. Right. We also have the download a brochure as an option on the landing pages built in.
Perfect.
We also have the cost of care calculator built in. We also give them a video. We also, we engage them with a variety of the long scroll landing page as much as they want to do to get to know us, because my goal is to not lose them.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've seen phenomenal success and engagement on our landing pages. And I do have a ton of gratitude for having the Waypoint on there as well.
That's awesome. I mean, the data just speaks to it. I mean, when one of our customers had this idea first, and we were like, oh, this is cool. So we dropped the navigator that's literally on their homepages, on their websites, onto the landing pages, and they saw anywhere from a 47 to 367% increase in conversions from those landing pages. We're like, holy cow, that's crazy. So then we're like,
why are they on the landing page? They're
Yeah.
researching. They're not buying, they're researching.
Yeah.
Right? So you deliver the right solution at the right time in the buying journey. And going back to that, I love that you are so into the customer journey.
Yeah. I
And
love that. I wish people would, I wish our customers would dig more into that, because there's so much.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would love to. We have a few tools that we've built that actually we've handed over as templates and said, here, map your buying journey. So maybe we'll include that with this podcast as a link to download. Yeah. Because sitting, and the other side of it too is sitting in the user's seat. Yeah. Get out of your office and go sit in their chair. Yeah. And consider what this feels like, looks like, sounds like. Yeah. And then come back and assess it from your own side. So we actually do a 2-sided buying journey. What does it feel like for the salesperson? Where did I not have the tool that I needed to enable this? Right? Maybe it was a financial comparison tool that wasn't in their toolbox. Yeah. You know, going back to your point about brochures, having that toolkit of usable, useful tools, creative follow-up pieces, educational resources, that library is absolutely key, I think, to enabling sales and also to deepening relationships. Yeah. We're offering something of value in return, and we're really listening. Yeah, exactly. It would be nice to see the industry take the data that we capture earlier in the discovery process within tools like Lifestyle Quiz or other tools that are in the industry and leverage that more into operations. Agreed. More personalized experiences. When we first launched our company, we built an Apple and an Android app. Mm-hmm. And the app was for the salespeople. And the goal is that app would share that data within the organizations. Mm-hmm. And they could invite people in and then share the data on that prospect. And they could also send a note out to everyone saying, hey, Alice is touring. Here's all of her data. If you see her, please say hello and personalize the conversation. We couldn't get the salespeople to use the app. So maybe we were a little ahead of our time. So we ended up sunsetting both of the apps and moving more to email notifications and text notifications. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, that was the vision. That was the dream, right? Yes. But getting other technology, yeah. Yes. That would be great add-on technology to a welcome home, right? Yes, absolutely. Well, and it's funny you say that, because welcome home, immediately my thought was, we've set up workflows for our clients who use welcome home, and one of the tasks that we automate is, here is that person's information, be prepared, a tour is coming in today. Yeah. Notifying everyone. I love that. I'm glad you brought up operations. You know what we called it before we launched the company? We called it the Welcome app. The Welcome app. Yeah, yeah. We didn't launch it. We launched it with this Lifestyle CX brand, but we did. The initial name was Welcome app, and then we found out that Welcome Home named their company Welcome Home, so we backed off from that. But John, if you're listening, Welcome app would work really well for you. Good. Let's tie that in. We get referred to a lot as the Pink Group, and I've seen Pink popping up in other agencies, brands lately. I'm like, what is going on, guys? Yeah. Yeah, Pink is great. And it's funny, when I was talking to my partner Michael at Welcome Home, we were talking about the sonic logos. You and I have talked about the power of sound. When we talk about experiential marketing, when we post-COVID came back, my first comment to my sales teams, what does it smell like? Yeah. I want it to smell fresh. It has to not smell like it's been closed up for 2 weeks. Set up aromatherapy, do whatever you got to do, get a tart warmer. Yeah. Think about it, right? So, but the sonic logos, I have this thing in my head for Welcome Home of a doorbell. Like, welcome home. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. When a notification comes in. I love it. Yes. We're working on our sonic logo. It kind of sounds like here we are building product market fit and for everyone. Well, and I think that's one of the things I love about what you've built and the way that we've built our agency as well is, how can we work together? What infrastructure exists? What systems are in place? 100%. And how can we innovate? 100%. That was a huge aha for us recently. We were like, okay, there's great best of breed technologies in the space, right? From the CRMs to other care assessments to live chat to whoever it is, doesn't matter, site staff, rubric, whoever it is. Yeah. And we're like, why are we battling this? This is not a battle. This is how we can all win.
how do we help? We started thinking about the Navigator and Waypoint as a Zapier for senior living, right?
Yes.
How do we, not only do we have our own proprietary products, the forms convert beautifully, right? They're very flexible, you can download a brochure, all that good stuff. And you can create experiences with them as well as lifestyle codes. But on that other side, we have customers who love Rubric. They love their site staff. We have customers that use our own live chat through Juvo. So then that was a big aha this year. I think it was about mid-year. We were like, wow, this is crazy. So what if someone wants to use a chatbot? So what if someone wants a live operator? Let's just make the Navigator contain it all. So then you can serve up to the customer exactly what they want to do.
Right.
It was just this,
Yes,
so and it's resonating. It's resonating with our customers because we're not saying, yes, you're paying for Rubric, but let us help you get more conversions on that investment that you're making. You can optimize that. We know you love it, but let's get more for you.
And understanding that Rubric does serve a purpose within a certain section of the buying journey, but you're looking at the holistic buying journey, and there are components where someone might not be ready to share the tour.
Self-serve meets full serve, right? It could be self-serve meets full serve. How do you deliver that? So, yeah.
And I believe that in our industry, there is so much work to do. There is so much work to do that there's no reason for competition. It's all about collaboration. How can we work together? How can we layer this in? Does this work here? Would it work better here? And having those very open conversations, it goes back to the salesperson's user behavior too, and the operational team's user behavior too. I am always grateful when I have an operations team that is tied into the CRM and paying attention. They're tracking occupancy, they're watching for move outs. We're all on the same page. One thing that's interesting too, when we build our performas for sales teams, we build it with the understanding that there will be attrition. And I think often revenue projections and sales teams projections leave that out. So you've got a salesperson who's like, I hit goal. And we're like, we're -2. This ops is moving out 6 people this month. And we didn't know. That high level of inter-organizational communication, getting everybody on the same page is a big part of what we do as our consultancy, is making sure that everyone's singing from the same sheet of music and we're all in the right key.
It's funny, I've been in sales my whole career, and I used to resent CRMs a bit as a salesperson because I just having to do all of that, it wasn't in my nature, right? But at the end of the day, as I've become an entrepreneur and realized the power of a CRM, you can't have a conversation with somebody and then 3 weeks later remember all the nuances of that conversation. Right. So the data piece that you're talking about, that tracking, the understanding of how everything impacts the entire business as a whole is really key. But it's also for the salespeople. Like, if you want to have a great follow-up conversation with someone, don't make them repeat the stuff you've already asked them.
Absolutely not. You're breaking down trust. And there's a lot that goes into, and I think that there's more work to be done. I know you do sales training as well.
I always say your CRM is your friend, really. And then I put a picture of a dog that's just like,
right.
Really.
So I more look at it as an outside version of my brain. I know that I have a lot coming in and I've got to put it down somewhere. And I also have always taught my teams, if you get hit by a bus, right, I want to be able to give every person on the team the flexibility to take the time they need. I can only do that if you have your notes up to date. And the other side of it too is sitting down and reviewing those before you pick up the phone. What did we go over last? Is there a birthday coming up? And that ability to prompt yourself for follow-up questions, so good. For our social media for Adage Marketing Group, we're getting ready to roll out in 2024, 365 days of sales prompts. And because even things like, how do we ask sensitive questions? Sometimes it helps to have a script, a prompt, something that gets you going in the right direction. And then have
questions, right?
Yes, soft, warm.
Share. Would you be willing to share?
Yes. Tell me more about that. Describe how that was feeling, how you were feeling in that moment. And when we do sales trainings, everyone gets a feelings wheel. I have one on my. Yes, because when we talk to a prospect, they're not just mad. They're not just scared. They're terrified. They're disappointed. They're isolated.
Somewhere they've never been before.
Yes. And so the emotional intelligence that comes with our EQ Matters training is designed to help people put the right finger to the right word and mirror that back to them in a way that then deepens that relationship. But if you have no idea who you're talking to on the other end of the phone and you're just dialing for dollars, you're not going to get that connection.
I got to share a cartoon with you. It's my favorite cartoon ever. And I put it on all my sales trainings. And it's just a black and white pencil sketch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a prospect on one side and it's a salesperson on the other side. And there's two big circles. And this prospect is Z's, right? Snoring.
Mm-hmm.
The salesperson is right. And then there's that middle where the two circles intersect, where is really what matters, what's important. That will capture that attention. I'm going to send that to you because I think you should have it. I will. I'll send it to you. And it's perfect. It just describes this whole thing perfectly in one graphic.
I love that. I can't wait to see it. I'll include that.
Yeah.
I think that going back to the dating reference, when you look at a couple out on a date and you've got the guy just talking away or the girl and the other person's like, you see that in the sales rooms. You know, how can you be a good date?
Self-aware.
When you court this prospect, how can you make them feel appreciated, seen?
And we're all guilty of it. I mean, you can start talking. I mean, I do sales presentations and I'm like, I shouldn't have had as much coffee. Oh my God. And you should ask more questions. And we all know it. But, but I think it's a skill. You have to get better at it and better at it and better at it,
and setting, and I think too, it's a self-awareness thing. For me, I get so excited. I'm so passionate about it.
I know, you're like me. We could talk for hours. Like,
And I did a new discovery call with a specialized service provider for the senior living industry. And I had 30 minutes with him. And I spent 27 minutes asking him questions and listening and only 3 minutes talking at all.
Wow. That's you're a star.
It was a tough one, but it was so worth it. Because when we walked away, I felt fully informed, ready to rock and roll and do what I do.
Right.
And the client partner felt like they got everything out.
They listened to.
And we're genuinely invested in their success. And that's where that feeling starts.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Let's wrap up with, where do you think we are going in the next year? Where do we need to land so that when we talk December 7th of 2024, we've transformed something magical within the industry?
Oh boy, that's a big one. I'll just bring up like maybe 3 things.
Okay.
Instead of one thing, because that's a lot. I think first and foremost, I think it would be great if the senior living industry could bridge the marketing to sales component, right? So salespeople know where these people are coming from on their website, how they come in, what their intent was, so they can be more in tuned with that consumer's intent, whether it's a data that we're sharing or not sharing. So I think better communication. That's why I love to do sales trainings, because marketing departments buy our tools, but the salespeople use our tools, right? I think there's something around the whole pricing thing too that needs to be addressed in this industry. Nobody goes and looks at a house that they can't afford. Some people do because they want to, they're looky-loos, whatever. Right. But at the end of the day, we have to figure out the pricing piece in senior living. And then in that searcher, that customer wants to have an idea of. So we've been working together, right, with Empowered and Camellia. So it's like, at least put a starting at. Let them self-select, or can we just educate on, and here are some other factors that could be part of this. Are you a veteran? Do you have long-term care insurance, right? Depending on the service levels. How do we build that experience so people can self-select whether something's right for them? Do you own a home, right? I mean, those are some of the key points that they can think about and say, well, maybe I can't afford this. Maybe this is the right decision for me, right? But not putting that up front somewhere, I think, is going to frustrate consumers over time. Absolutely. And it's got to be addressed. So that one, and then the data is everything. I think people need to be more connected into their data to make more informed decisions. Our customers are making huge decisions that impact them, not only their professional reputation, their security of their jobs, right? They're making big decisions on, and they have a lot of pressure on them to make up this occupancy shortage since the pandemic, and things are coming back slowly. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of pressure on these folks to make decisions and to look good for their organizations. So how do we make them look good, right? How do we get rid of the noise and really just provide them really good tools at really great pricing structures and really deliver on those experiences for the consumers that helps across the organization. So I think thinking holistically about our decision makers, what they're going through, right?
And the choice architecture itself. I love that you pointed out, starting at rates.
Yeah.
And for us, even adding a cost of home comparison right there.
Yeah.
If this looks high, try figuring out how much it's going to cost to stay home.
That's why we built the tool, right? And put it right on
choice
sales.
Architecture.
Now we're doing badges, gamification, people to help inform them. How many leads can you get before you know which ones, how do you sift through them quickly, right? The badges come, homeowner. Fantastic. I'm a salesperson. It's nothing negative. I don't see anything negative on that lead, but it's a homeowner. They're looking for assisted living and they're looking to make a decision immediately, or they're tour ready. These are simple badges that make big differences in helping them, their time
and prioritizing their time. Prioritizing their time is one of the biggest challenges. Any of the sales teams that I've worked with, there are always competing expectations and conflicting demands.
Yeah.
But to tie together what you've said, I love the idea of 2024 being the year of feedback loops. 2024 is the year we ask.
Yeah.
We ask, we listen, and we act. Right. So whether that's how can we enable our sales teams more effectively, whether that's how can I make more resonant content for marketing, whether it's how can I deliver value to back up this price transparency. We are committed to, we're working on a new website update ourselves, and we are committed to putting our own pricing on the website.
Right.
Because how could we ask our clients to do something we're not willing to do? Right. Lead by example. I think transparency in every sense. Transparency about where your lead came from, transparency about where your money went. We've just rolled out a really incredible real-time analytics reporting dashboard that allows our clients to log in anytime and see their cost per lead by channel.
That's awesome.
Yes, it was cool. Very cool. I'll share that with you. We're getting ready to do some promotion around that. But, the ability to ask and answer the questions. I'm doing tons of surveys, not because I like to do surveys, but because we know that there are gaps that we're capable of filling in this industry if we ask the right questions.
I love that. I think it's really, we just did that skilled nursing pilot, right? And the data that came back, our contact there said, thank you so much. Now I can go to my leadership and say, I really want to do this. I told you I want to do this, but now I have the data to tell you why I do this, right? So we're also empowering them to be more informed, more successful decisions, and then that makes our partnerships that much stronger. Everything we built is through conversation with our customers. What do you think of this?
User-driven.
Like this, right? What if this had a landing page and you could drive them to schedule a tour from the end of the survey? What would work? And people are like, yeah, we love it, we love it, we love it. Or, no, I hate the idea of red, green, and yellow on a sales lead, or hot, cold, warm. It'll just deter our salespeople. So how can we make it fun? Well, let's make some badges, right? Conversation. It's about listening to them, what their issues are, their problems are, and then making them look good. At the end of the day, we all want to look good.
That's my elevator speech. Actually, is I am Adrienne. Yes, it's a very simple. I am Adrienne. I help people like Terri and Beth and whoever we're working with to do a really fantastic job at their jobs so that they get promoted. That's my job, is to make them look good. And there's a great quote by Rory Sutherland. I'm a huge fan. He's the research vice chairman for Ogilvy and Mather. But Rory says that in a B2C decision for buying, they're trying to avoid regret. So if I go to a restaurant, I don't want to regret that decision. In a B2B context, they're trying to avoid embarrassment.
For sure. 100%.
I can see Man, follow me and let's get out of this place. We could fly over our problems, watching clouds from a private jet.